Today we are headed to Port of Spain, traveling on the eastern main highway from Aranjuez to the northwest of Trinidad, where Port of Spain is located. The public transport system in Trinidad is highly efficient, very comfortable. All of the maxis have air conditioning in them. Some of them even have Wi-Fi. You get to ride comfortably, you get to enjoy the scenery. It's also quite cost effective, with the cheapest fare being $6 and the highest fare being $10, depending on which corridor you are traveling in. Access to private modes of transportation is quite easy in Trinidad. Their vehicle prices are quite good. The vehicles are mostly automatic, and as with most former British colonies, they drive on the left-hand side of the road. When we disembark at the Port of Spain main depot, we now head into the center of the city, and you can see how the architecture changes from the outlying areas and becomes more modern, more glass and steel as we enter the urban area of Port of Spain. You can also see interspersed amongst the more modern buildings are the old school colonial style buildings. Port of Spain was founded initially by the Spanish as Puerto España. It has been the capital city as well as the commerce center of Trinidad since 1757. I arrived right on time for Carnival, which I was very much excited about. The city was decorated, everybody was in high spirits, getting ready for the upcoming festivities. Our taxi, what we would call a meter cab in South Africa, drops us off at Westbrook Mall. Trinidad is quite a small island and has a very laid-back vibe. If I had to compare Westbrook to similar malls back home, I would say it's similar to the malls you find in the north of Cape Town or the north suburbs of Johannesburg. It was time for us to grab a coffee. We went to Rituals. They had a wonderful assortment of pastries, but I was saving my tummy for something that we're gonna try together in a little bit. While you're enjoying this video as much as I enjoyed making it, go ahead and give it a like and consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. So today I am at Rituals, which is like the Starbucks here in Trinidad and Tobago. Just grabbing some iced coffees while we run around and do some shopping. Not really hungry yet, but when I do get hungry, I feel like I want to go to KFC. I've heard that it is the best KFC in the whole entire world. I had the blackened chicken sandwich from Popeyes the other day. That was lunch. That is what a chicken sandwich is supposed to be. Not these KFC crunch games in South Africa. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. You know I'm here with my sexy husband. Head of the Look at it. After refueling, it was time to live the soft girl dream and spend some good time at Funky Fish. They stock a lot of the Sanrio products, which is Hello Kitty, My Melody, Kuromi, Kudetama, and Agretsuko. If you have not watched Agretsuko,
Let's go 君入れ直してだけど私には人に言えない
I'm gonna need you to run. I need you to dash and go and check it out. I got myself this super adorable handbag, and then we took a walk around the food court just to see what options were there. Then we headed over to KFC. I lost the footage of this review, but overall, KFC in Trinidad gets a strong 8 out of 10 from me. Absolutely amazing recipe. Our next stop was at True Value, which is equivalent to a Woolworths or a Checkers in South Africa, spotted Snoop's wine. And they don't have a lot of South African selections. It is almost all American wines. So I had to settle for one of these Woodbridge blends. And from there, we went to the fresh produce aisle. Here you can see some green seasoning, some peppers, and other mixes of seasoning that are used in traditional Trinidadian cooking. After that, it was time to head back into the city. I caught some glimpses of the ocean here, the similarities between Durban. If you think about the Morningside, Devonport, Glenwood areas, it's very similar, of course, because of the British influence. This street right here is very similar to our Florida Road in Durban as well. A lot of clubs, a lot of lounges, a lot of small artisanal food and drink outlets.
After college, we would come here and just sit on the benches for hours and talk shit. And almost every day there was a hit.
Oh my god.
Almost every day.
So this is Independence Square.
The Nicholas Tower.
So this is the Nicholas Tower from the other side. This statue and plaque in Independence Square honors Captain Arthur Andrew Cipriani, who was a labor leader and a politician. As the day was ending, it was time for us to catch another maxi to the east side of Trinidad, specifically Arima, where we would be going to stay with the relatives who we support in working with at a local fresh fish and produce market. All of their produce and seafood is caught on their land. It is farmed sustainably. We leave the house at around 5 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, and when we arrive at the market, the gents start by offloading everything that we'll be selling for that day. So it is seasonal according to what the land provides. Sun is breaking over the horizon. Absolutely beautiful. I love to watch the parrots leaving for the day, always in pairs. So romantic. I was giving some sales tips to my mentees here, having a great time. There's the northern range in the background, so gorgeous. And then it was time to get to work. My specialty for the day was balata, which is a gooseberry like fruit. And on my first break, I went to visit Abby, who sells fresh juices that she makes herself. I immediately fell in love with the lemongrass and ginger flavor. My boss got us some pilori, which is a pastry similar to iguinya but much smaller and very savory. It's got some spices and seasoning in it. And then this is a mango chutney that I'm pouring on it. Absolutely delicious. Perfect snack, especially if you're like me and you can't really eat too much in the earlier parts of the day. After a very long and very hot and very successful day, it was time to pack up. Then we were on the road, got home to a fabulous lunch of chicken, lentil stew, watercress salad, some rice, and pasta salad. After enjoying our time in the countryside with family, we then headed back into the city. We were filming the visualizer for the track Smooth by Daniel Marique, EP dropping on the 22nd of this November. Here I'm admiring more of the architecture and enjoying the absolutely beautiful sunset before I get into my glam room, honey. We're at Brunson Studios. We're about to get it in for the Smooth visualizer. Oh. Yeah, boy. This was my first experience as a video vixen. I have been in many photo shoots in my life, but never a visualizer or a music video. Acting is hard, Sandra Sam. There's a reason why those people get paid as much as they do. I respect it. I was also going through the most at this point. I was experiencing a lot of aches in my joints, so it was a little bit tricky to move around. We did what we had to do. Can't wait for you guys to get to experience and enjoy the work that we put in.